All right, we are live. And turn the water on. Woo! All right. Character, but at the same place in the story. All right. So last time we were cut short by real life thunderstorm after I killed the thunder god. Stop. All right. In we go to continue the quest. Back into the waking sands. Thunder cabbage protector. Okay. Guardian of Eorzea. Now, the matter of Ramu has for the present been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Magnarmus. A rolled up piece of paper. It is a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mugamog XII, Leviathan, and now Ramu. Needless to say, there is only one among our members who has to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. They better be. I, too, must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Magnarmus, and Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Until we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow. And there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace. We owe no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people who have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of little solace who wish not of conflict. Valazay, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag, that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Yeah, I already did all those missions. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention? There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message from you from Ellie. You can call the refugee girl. The one whose parents were missing. They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass you on her thanks to you. No, she's not an orphan. My Alphino, am I to understand you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Magnarmus, you have been away from Retold for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozon was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Would you not oblige him with a visit? Phoenix says roar. Look, it's Mr. Magnarmus. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Magnarmus? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder, Mr. Coltonant, did you know that Mr. Magnarmus is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Magnarmus. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonant. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Magnarmus if he could help us, give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Mr. Magnarmus? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Corey, if I didn't know better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, perhaps I am. But what matters is the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson. What say you, Magnarmus? Would you consent to spar with me? Yeah, sure, I'll beat your ass. Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. All right. Prepare they shall. Do not try to disappoint them, Have faith, Coltonant. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Okay. To the east of town. What's up, Mr. Boulder? Let's do this. Well, it's good of you to agree to this, Magnarmus. I trust you are ready to begin? Yeah. Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Horik, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Magnarmus you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unhated. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Magnarmus to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun, have you? Ito, what? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. You could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there is still more to come. When I mentioned Magnarmus's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Bat you. Oh, come on. I only did one combo. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. Aye, the children have the right of it. It's time I join the fray. On your feet, Hori. Oh, you want some too? Your mage is down. And Hori's down. Oh no, he looks hurt. Mr. Magnarmus is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Disappoint the younglings. Roar! I can do that too. Paladin fight! Oh. Oops. You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible. He beat them both at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, Magnarmus. No one can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. I see why they send you to deal with primals. I have much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. I could have hit him one more time. You're right. Impressive as always, Magnarmus. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when first we met? It was at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expanded towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. It was you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. It was you who taught me through countless acts of bravery that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish. A wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the Scions in the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Yeah, most likely. This way. Thank you for coming, Magnarmus. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. My items are full. There we go. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Area, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the desperate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against the threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus, I have been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation according to the Scions. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, it is yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the bringer of light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Lumenza. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Wind onion. It's a wind-up onion night, is what I got. And, screenshots for thumbnails. Unable to summon minions here? Where can I summon them? Do I have to be outside? Minion, wind up onion night. Anyway, back to Limsa. Speak with Alphino at Bulwark Hall. There you are. I am ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blosephine. While the Admiral and I are finalizing the promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe the personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with recruiting with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter that we might prepare for our next leg of our journey. Controller died. There we go. Upper decks.
Dun dun dun. There's a chance I'll read it and forget to acknowledge it. Scout for potential recruits on the upper decks. Oh hey, it's one of the old company of heroes. The guy that gave me the directions to Titan. Well, if it ain't Magnarmus, I'd not forget a venturer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut to Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Retold, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes, 3 whistles at Bronze Lake. Aye, if it ain't often I drag me arse out to Limsa for a drink. But I'm right glad I did. How fare you these days? You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work. Ha, sounds like a right lark, it does. Alrighty, lad, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. I've seen that guy. I whistled for him 3 times at the Bronze Lake. And he came and gave me directions to Titan. Real. A precursor to a united Eorzean Grand Company. Well, I do admire the scope of your ambition. My responsibilities here at Null Deek and Families keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Okay. I won't help you, but I might make armor for you. Okay. Pirate lady. Who the bloody hell's you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvillion's door. I think she told me to fuck off. Master Alpha knows new organization. Yes, I heard of the formation of this trial company. He was in the offing. It is with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets and the protection of limbs of the Lamenta must needs be received my full attention. Okay. An organization with the freedom to operate with the territorial impunity? You must say your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Okay. Alright, Alpno, one guy said he'd join. Your recruiting went well, I trust? I'm curious as to how many my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Laminza. A member of the legendary company, company of heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing, I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. A few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nofika's altar. Nofika's altar. My audience with the Elder Seer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Okay. So if I teleport to Miketos. Oh, look, if it isn't you. Hey, remember that time I beat your ass because you were selling us up the river to the Imperials? Oh, gods, can it truly be you? What fickle fortune this must be the first face I see upon my release, but be yours. Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron at Buscarin's. Oh yeah, now I remember. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less be said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? If matters stand, the wood whalers will have not more to do with me. This may be the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this, I promise you. I am a changed man. Right. A former wood whaler. Person number 2. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back gives up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry. We were just... Oh, Magnarmus, isn't it? It's been some time since our paths crossed outside Copperbell Mines. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look how far you've come. Mother Mion tells me it was you who felled the fearsome Black Wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted adventurers to fill the ranks of a new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildour safely home. My back is perfectly fine, I tell you. You have to tie me to my bed if you think you can prevent me from... Oh, well, mayhaps I will just rest for a short while. And that's what the old man says. You would offer this man a place in your company... This old man a place in your company of champions? I'm both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young master, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. Okay. He's too busy atoning. So far, I got 2 yeses and 1 no. Tis not a guild officer such as myself gets recruited. And this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but the students appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such a time as your organization is more organized. To the airship landing. What news, Magnarmus? For my part, the Elder Seed Seer was most amenable to our requirements. Maybe a great group of people will join later. A former wood whaler, a seasoned adventurer. Our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. Interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike on into Old Isle whilst the iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Alright, last city. Charisma's too low? Probably. Dun, 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 dun. Chamber of Rule. Let's go. Ul'dah, the gilded city where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous 2. Might I suggest ascending into the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Magnarmus. Alright. Okay. Gonna go this way. Well, I got 2 in the last town. Only 1 in the first town. Hey, look, it's Wilred. Wait, you're the man who came to Little Alamigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead, and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Anyway, the disaster really got me to thinking about our homeland and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am, a new company of champions, and you say it will take me to all corners of the realm? That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need, and don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in Little Alamigo. I've prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. He was the person that tried to have me jumped in Little Alamigo, and then I beat all his friends' asses. We go this way. Oh, what a happy coincidence. You remember me? Perchance I am Orson of the Church of St. Adama Lundama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion, Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek, then. Your proposed organization sounds like a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. He's too busy being a nun. Alright. We got one no and one yes and one no. I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashioned manner of propositioning a lady? I'm afraid you're wasting your time. This lady has already spoken for. Good day to you, sir. Too busy with charity for charity? Too busy with charity for charity. Land birds. You'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours, and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. A company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire? Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. Okay, so I got one here. Back to the Royal Promenade. Positioning a lady. How fared you, Magnarmus? What hidden gems of the streets of Old Odd offer up your unrelenting gaze? I got Wilrid. A single Alamegan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Magnarmus. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the document signed, and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You're concerned by the syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin and their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely on outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubt surrounding this enterprise, well, such things small shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn the people's trust. We will earn the people's trust, one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
For the Rising Stones. Alpha note is. That is not a journey I soon wish to repeat, but I cannot pause to rest. At the culmination of our effort is at hand. I must see to all the preparations of the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Magnarmus. I am certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Greetings, Magnarmus. Alphino tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. Lions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Taru is cooperating with Alpino to see all is ready in readiness. I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces arrived in Remnant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Slaffborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there is aught that he requires? You think you need a hug? What else can I do for you, Magnarmus? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. I barely noticed your recruits arrive. It was barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. Oh, you were just laughing at the princess? Well, I appreciate your offer to aid. Oh, shit. Table that. Alright. I barely noticed the recruits arrived. While I appreciate your offer to aid, 'tis more of a burden, your burden, that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Slaffborn, the shipment we couldn't. God's woman. What befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll. Provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross the river into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I can't believe that many of... I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There is naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest and I'll have someone along to attend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. When did these supplies originate? House for Tom. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Magnarmus. Were you not on good terms with the Knights of the House for Tom? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Sure. Thank you again for understanding. I'm certain Lord Harshaphant will be glad of your assistance. Heresy! To Camp Dragonhead. Go, six-legged horse. With wings. Well, if it isn't my fine friend Magnarmus Darkblade. Would you care for a plate of roast caracol? Some mulled wine? No? I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was in fact on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. He just wants me to have some food and a drink with him.
the incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait?
Sure.
Halone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Yep. Heresy and Whitebrim, just like old times. Back to Drillmont. What's up? Magnarmus, is there aught you would ask of me? Pray speak plainly. I am a man of action and need no honeyed words. Oh, the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the Fury! But you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, it is sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning, and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what matter of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of their righteous fervor. It is an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a traitor was waylaid on the road. Patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow, and carried him into our infirmary. Assuming he has regained use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task.
Tell you what happened. Why, yes, of course. I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly Blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to Right Room Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. It was then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say this is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived it all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Alright, back outside. Yes, the front door definitely was not good enough for me. Braving the cold again. Alright guys, let's go. Keep throwing my shield at you. Oh, there you go. And down he goes. Guess even thick skulls get something through them sometimes. Yep. God, draw your weapon, foul. Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You're come-seeking heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We're on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties. Pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. You glimpse of a woman atop a cliff. Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? And to where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall. Some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. It would be best were we to return to White Room Front and lay our suspicions before Lil Drillmont. Narmis, it appears I owe you my thanks again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men found you out near Snowcloak. You found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission to consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. It would be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. I return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Haurchefant of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Oh wait, I can just teleport there. You can just teleport.
We're going. Voice acted?
Your return is most timely.
Yes.
Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Giving the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Revenant's Toll. Back we go. Magnormus, 'tis good to see you return to the Toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of Korthus? House for Tom is to send a second shipment. I must send thanks to Lord Harshaphant for his continued generosity. Yet, even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract even greater numbers to those who would do us harm in the name of greed and power. All of us, Alphino's newer courts included, must remain vigilant against such threats. While you were away in Kurthus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed. Although Tataru does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? Go speak with Tataru. These parchments needs to be sorted. These documents, where are they? Why are they even here? Oh, I'm so sorely tempted to file the lot into my waste paper basket. Ah, Magnormus, you startled me. You wish to lend me a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the newer court? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits don't know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You want to report directly back to Alphino if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Back out into Revenant's Toll.
Retold. You there. I also believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself, 'tis an investment in the future, thus I did sign myself name to the cause. Alright. Here, take this, you little leprechaun. These uniforms are a splendid idea. One organization has made such a name for itself. There shall be wealth plenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Alright. Of course, the leprechaun wants gold. I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit that I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Our new uniforms. I reminded my induction into the Wood Whalers. Because he's a leprechaun. I don't believe we've met. I am Ilbert, and I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity. And I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Here you go. Uniforms are a shrewd decision. There is no easier method of creating a common bond among what is, essentially, a band of strangers. This scarlet garb makes me a proud member of the Maelstrom, and I am a hardy defender of Limsa, yet in truth I stand for the betterment of the realm. This new company's a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Oh, now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack it for color. Alright. Wilrid. Little Alamigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll, that this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn aught so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Enormous Darkblade, gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about the town. Tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. Here you go. It's an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Buddy. Hello there, lad. Looking for me, was you? I suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure as I'd hear it amongst all the bustle. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Isildur has at last retired from the adventurer's life, though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit. I am excited to forge my own path forwards. Here you go. Ah yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Back into the Rising Stones. Turn this on. Yes, Magnarmus. Ah, Tatari mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met with the rest of the recruits? Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small core of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? It is my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near. Magnarmus, once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus, does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
Infilia.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans?
Nope.
Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelin silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
And we finished patch the point. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last.
The winds are uncommon fierce this day. Gassians are involved. All right. Let's start 2.4. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding, but it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such a time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. For the Asians, Oriange is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Pray, let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphano did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be, independent to a fault, and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphano has entrusted the countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again, were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go with him and support him in whatever manner you are able. Traitor in the midst. Back and forth. Alright, quest is called Traitor in the Midst. Let's go. What is it, Magnarmus? And do be concise, I am rather busy. You would lend a hand, you say? Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves. But the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand of our services. And we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions, but I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, Magnarmus.
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
To the Hall of Flames.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Roban. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches,
and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah, spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Wilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first? Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General, you wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest, Scion. Suffice it to say, we must tread warily, but one misstep may well cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let us return to the Rising Stones and report to Commander Levier. You still there, Francis? All right. We are returned from Muldar, Commander. Not a moment too soon. Something has happened. Trouble? You will recall that the Fourth was tasked with reconnoitering the rendezvous point site used by the Ivy's minion and his Imperial contacts. Soon after you left, we received word that the unit was ambushed en route to its destination. Gods damn it. According to the report, one of ours has been taken captive. The Garleans are not wont to treat their foreman with dignity, and I have grave fears for her safety. We must dispatch a rescue party at once. Recall those braves who are afield. Begging your pardons, Commander, but we do not have the time. I'm afraid I must ask you for your aid once more, Scion. An ill-prepared rescue party will only serve to provide the Garleans with more captives. Yet time is of the essence. Simply put, you are our best chance we have. Captain Ilberd has the right of it. I trust you are willing, but of course you are now. Aliane of the Fourth lies in wait in the Tangle, near the entrance to Castrum Sentry. Seek her out and she will apprise you of the situation. Not much to say about all that, yep. Let's go! As I fly in on my noble steed. You would aid us in the rescue mission? We are in your debt, Warrior of Light. Now, the time is against us, so allow me to brief you on the situation. The Garleans fell upon us without warning, wounding poor Resh and hauling her away to the castrum yonder. Outnumbered as we are, it was all we could do to flee and regroup. Even as we speak, the Garleans may be interrogating Resh, or worse, with her hurts, I fear she will not long survive their intentions. We must rescue her without delay. Our order may yet be in its infancy, but the bond that binds us is as strong as Mithril. None of us will stand by while a comrade suffers. We, the remnants of the Fourth, will infiltrate Castrum Sentry. Please help us find Resh before it's too late. Let's go, bitch. Aiding. Where am I? Thank the gods we found you. And thank you, Warrior of Light. Now to quit this accursed place, Resh cannot move with those wounds. She will need to be carried out. I believe a diversion is ordered. Might we trouble you to provide one? Given your reputation, I suspect the Garleans will only be too happy to grant you their undivided attention. If you were to create a commotion within the castrum, we should be able to steal away unnoticed. Let us speak again once we are safely outside these walls. All right, I'll go bust some heads. Hey kids, want to see a dead body? And dead. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And they are toast. Next. Hey guys, how's your health plan? Apparently it's great! All units engage and destroy! I've awaited your return most anxiously, my friend. You have done us a great service indeed. Thanks to your aid, our comrade Resh is safe, and we suffered no further casualties. Words cannot well express my gratitude. All that is left is to report the mission success to Commander Lavelier. I shall go ahead and to the Rising Stones. Alright. Back to the Rising Stones. They were destroyed. All units. Confirmed eliminated. What's up? I was a distraction. It does me well to see you thus return, though I doubt not your prowess. Entering an enemy stronghold is generally considered to be a rescue venture, and I must confess to having been a trifle anxious. But here you are, hale and whole, having succeeded in your mission as is your wont. Lest you wonder, the woman you rescued is being cared for by the Domans. Thanks to their expert ministrations, the danger is past. You have my gratitude, Magnarmus. Allow me to thank you also, Scion. Resh owes you her life. We escaped with minimal casualties this time. We can ill afford to be caught off guard again. The Empire is not an opponent to be trifled with. As you say, Commander, I will see to it that the men keep their wits about them. And it may yet take time, but I will not rest until we have identified and apprehended the Ivy. I have every confidence that you will succeed, Captain. As for you, Magnarmus, I realize you have scarce caught your breath, but I'm afraid there is no rest for the weary. I require that you accompany me to Kurthus. I have been granted an audience with an Ishgardian dignitary, you see, and the man expressly requested your presence. Oh, do not look so surprised. You would be familiar with the trappings of fame by now. We shall depart as soon as you are ready. More heresy in the snow, I see. We have been blessed with the rare opportunity, Magnarmus, an audience with the ambassador of the Holy See of Ishgard. You are to treat with Sir Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, in Camp Dragonhead. It is considered a great honor to serve the Holy See directly as a Temple Knight. Needless to say, their leader wields tremendous political influence. It would be wise to court his favor. For that reason, I consider your attendance essential. If Sir Aymeric wishes to meet the man behind the legend, I would not deny him the pleasure of your company. The antecedent should set the wisdom of this plan when you request her permission to accompany me to Kurthus. Mayhap you feel this is a waste of your talents, which would doubtless be put to nobler use. If so, I should remind you that more good can be accomplished with a stroke of a pen than the thrust of a sword. Speak with Minfilia. Yes, more heresy. A meeting with an Ishgardian ambassador? By all means, I think it a wonderful idea. We have received no reports of etheric disturbances or unusual beast tribe activity of late. If Alphino believes your presence may help him secure more favorable terms, I see no reason to deny him. Antecedent, I take it Magnarmus has explained the situation? He has. Yet welcome though these overtures are, I cannot help but wonder what prompted them. The Ishgardians have spurned all contact with the other city-states for decades. Why reach out now? Would that I knew. The question of their motives is one which I have given no small amount of thought. Alas, I know no more than is generally known. The notoriously reclusive nation of Ishgard is situated in the center of Abalathia's spine, ruled by the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, and the head of which presides the Archbishop. Members of the original Eorzean Alliance formed in the wake of Alamiga's fall some 2 decades ago. Friends of convenience who withdrew from the Alliance as soon as the Imperial fleet was routed at the Battle of Silvertear Skies. Since which time their borders have remained closed to all outsiders. They have rejected every one of their former allies' calls to reopen their dialogue, turning a deaf ear to their neighbors, please, even when the calamity loomed large. And on the fields of Cartano, where brave men and women laid down their lives in defense of the realm, their banners were conspicuously absent. Yep, they didn't show up. I've tried to convince Ishgard to rejoin the Alliance at every opportunity. I have explained over and over again that unless Eorzea stands united, we cannot hope to preserve our freedom. One by one, our nations will fall as once fell Alamigo. And what have mine efforts yielded? Why not? Surely this can be considered a step in the right direction. I hope so, rather than the lowly messengers we have been fobbed off with in the past. This time we shall meet with a man of genuine influence. Of course, I am not so naive as to think they come to us out of the goodness of their hearts. We have something they desire, though I have to find out what. But such is the nature of diplomacy. They will bring their agendas to the negotiation table, and so will I, along with a handful of incontrovertible truth. The Empire will soon be at our doorstep once more. Indeed, you may be assured that I will expound upon this point and others.
Let us depart for Camp Dragonhead, Magnarmus. Our old friend Lord Harshaphant is expecting us. Since our quest to recover the Enterprise, I understand you have further integrated yourself with the man. Excellent work. His fineness may prove useful to our cause. A Camp Dragonhead. Ah, Magnarmus, ever a welcome sight. Our hearts have been stoked to blazing in preparation for your arrival. It would not do for such a distinguished personage to catch cold whilst enjoying our hospitality. The gesture is most appreciated. I fear I shall ever struggle in cold climes. Ah, good Master Alphino, an honor, as always. Likewise, Lord Harshaphant. Pray forgive us yet another imposition. I fear that we have relied overmuch on your aid since you generously assisted us in locating the Enterprise. Nonsense. Any debts incurred have long since been repaid. Besides, who can say what the future may bring? House for Tom may even seek the aid of your newly formed Crystal Braves. In any case, I am simply delighted that the Holy See is at last willing to grant you an audience. No doubt your discoveries at Snowcloak have helped justify the decision. This recent resurgence of heretical activity is of grave concern to us all. But to the matter at hand, Sir Emmerich arrived in Camp Dragonhead earlier. I am told he is eager to meet with you at your first convenience. You are doubtless weary from your journey and desirous to rest a while by the warmth of our hearth. But if you are willing to forego such comforts, pray inform the knight stationed outside the intercessory. He will grant you entrance and send word to the other attendees. As inviting as your hearth sounds, I think it's best we proceed to the intercessory forthwith. Or heresy in the snow. I've been expecting you, sir. Pray, take your ease inside and I shall summon the others. Forthwith.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Sir Emmerich. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the Primal Menace. The Beast Tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean Alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. Their territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Fortin has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls
Feel like
for
my glasses are
restrictions
too out of
on the
place.
provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Sir Emmerich, we would be in your debt.
No, you would not. For I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard Sorma.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this?
The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord.
What? By the Fury! All our precautions were for naught?
Alright, I gotta get some stuff out of my inventory. Shot. Nope. This. Ah. Take everything. And get rid of that. There we go. Ooh. Now I continue the plot. So those two new the Harshafont and Amaric's voice actors are the new voice actors from Heaven's Ward. We are just starting to make progress. And to make matters worse, the caravan they spoke of was bound for Revenant's Toll of all places. Honestly, were I so inclined, I should think the gods were conspiring against us. Happily, however, I am not. I would know more of this attack. Let us speak with Lord Harshafont and find out what he has learned. Sincerest apologies for the interruption, my friends, but the situation is such that we must act swiftly. If you would be so kind as to elaborate. I thought heretics fell upon the caravan bound for Revenant's Toll as it was passing through Boulder Downs. It was an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant, every knight was slain, every crate seized. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, they were gone. It would be an impossible feat without knowledge of the route. Knowledge of which only a select few are privy, I presume. Right, we can pursue that avenue of inquiry in due course. It seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush would be our first concern. The trail is yet warm. We must act swiftly, as Lord Harshafont said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truths, Magnarmus. Why don't you go and inspect the ambush site in person? An excellent idea. Inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. Move along, adventurer. There's nothing for... Lord Harshafont bid you to speak with us? Then you must beg your pardon, scion. As you can see, they left nary a crate behind. Tipped the wagon, and for good measure, even. Whole thing's a bit odd, if you ask me. Would have been easier just to steal it. though a damn sight harder to conceal it, I'll allow. Reckon they came prepared, probably with wagons of their own hidden away off. Ah, but pay no heed to my ramblings, absent of proof, 'tis naught but speculation. Might be as the squire receiving the carrot observatorium can tell you. Something more factual, that is, if he's awake. Unlike myself, he was there during the attack. Not that his presence amounted to much. You've come to ask about the attack, haven't you? We came upon them before the entrance to the Hall of the Seven Echoes. Pilgrims, we marked them as, lost and ill-equipped for a journey further north. Our leader called out to them, and one stepped forward to answer. Slowly she approached, her silver hair flowing in the wind like melting snow. Just a young girl, I thought, some poor lost lamb in search of salvation. Our dear leader must have thought the same, else why would he let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I couldn't hear. She leaned forward as if to kiss him and kiss his cheek. And then he sighed and crumpled to the ground. I don't know what had happened till I saw the snow turn red. And then there was red everywhere I looked. I tried to fight, but it took a blow to the head. And by the time I came to, the others were dead and the heretics were unloading the wagon. I mean, they'd have killed me, so I just lay still and listened. Iceheart spoke of the deliverance and resurrection, and they spoke of Shiva. You've returned. What news have you for us? It seems that the Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Who is this Shiva the heretic spoke of? Have you not read a single line of the Enchiridion, Master Alphino? Shiva was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who lay down with dragons. Now, we cannot expect all foreigners to know its guardian scripture so well, particularly when it comes to the patron saints of heretics. Wait, you say she is their patron saint? Oh no, it makes sense now. Lord Harshaphant, what was the caravan's cargo? Oh, if I recall correctly, the Diamond Forge had requested a rather large quantity of crystals. Do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva, as the beast tribe would a primal. Why else would they go to such lengths to secure crystals? I shall inform the Lord Commander at once. Lord Harshaphant, you would agree that discretion is of paramount concern? Of course. I trust we can count on your continued support, Mr. Alphino. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to combat the primal threat. Our support is given. I will need to send word to my brethren at Revenant's Toll. Our entire order must turn its efforts to the prevention of this summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I am sure you would not miss this for the world. The persistent attacks on our caravan seemed little more than a nuisance at first. Heretics were a problem to be sure, but a relatively minor one. That was before I discerned the purpose behind their attacks, of course. Now they have my undivided attention. After apprising Minfilia of this situation, I shall summon a unit of Crystal Braves to assist us. As for you, Magnarmus, pray join me in Whitebrim Front.
Since the incident at Snowcloak, the Knights of House Durandare have redoubled their reconnaissance efforts in the region. It is my hope that they have information which may help us to determine precisely where the heretics are hiding. Given our mutual enemy, Lord Drillmont should be eager to oblige us. I shall see you there, then. Good. Hells yeah. Here to enter through your attic. What's up? The Scions of the Seventh Dawn wish to join the hunt for Iceheart? Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Considering the report I just received, I dare say your timing could be no better. We are all ears, Lord Drillmont. A band of pilgrims was seen transporting a large number of crates to the west. Their garb appeared to match the description provided by the squire who survived the attack. Alas, our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak, that self-same frozen wall which we speculated might conceal the heretics' hideaway. Suffice it to say, the disappearance of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirms our suspicions. I have heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. I took the liberty of summoning a unit of Crystal Braves to Whiterun Front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. These are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. It would be in our best interest to coordinate our efforts. Such as was my intent from the start, Sir Aymeric. And so it begins, my friend, though I dare say it will prove an all too brief collaboration. Iceheart will not elude the combined forces of the Crystal Braves and the Temple Knights for long. Nevertheless, a wise man does not wager all upon the success of a single solution. May yet be a subtler means by which we can locate the heretic's lair. Mayhap Lord Drillmont has one in mind. Yes, excellent. Lady, everything has been accounted for. If there is aught else you would have us do, pray speak, and it shall be done. It seems as though we were always one step behind, our quarry ever just beyond our reach. Though I would like to believe that the tables are about to turn. I must confess to having certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed where others have failed, but it could yet yield the selfsame result. Fortunately, we are not without other options. I trust you haven't forgotten Inquisitor Gilliam? We have not. The mystery of how the heretic remained undiscovered for so long has been much in our thoughts, and has the question of what steps might be taken to prevent a similar breach of security in future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in Whiterun Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Iceheart's cause, he will have taken note of the movements of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Gentrimont in the yard. Would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere. Simply watch and listen. I have seen to it that the suspect knows nothing which could endanger our plans. Look over there, the accused knight. The suspected heretic leaves through the southwest gate. So shall I. Yes. There he is. Dun, 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 dun. Stealth mission. Ding 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 ding. The suspect follows the road to the east. Here he is again. This tree will do. Oh, that's on my main character. The suspected heretic heads south. To the south. Surveying. Hey, where in the seven hells are you? I'm freezing my buttocks off here. I'm here, you blundering oaf. Why are you late? Standing on the wall, why else? I have duties to fulfill, you know. Your sole duty is to the bloody echo. Lower your voice or they hear us in White Brim front. Yes, of course. The temple knights are in Snowcloak. Yeah, but this is what you bring to me? We already knew about them. Our comrades in Boulder Downs will use the tunnels, dead before they know what's happening. Nevertheless, if you waste my time again, is that clear? Well, Traitor was a traitor. And White Brimfront gets infiltrated. I don't know, I was gonna say more than something, but I don't know what to say. Well, did your investigation bear fruit? Yep. Traitor was a traitor all along. I see. I shall have the man detained at once. His guilt is plain. Oh, would that Would that you could have heard their words more clearly. Yet, the few snatches you were able to make out are nonetheless enlightening. It would seem the heretics are aware of our operation, and confident they can thwart it. Their comrades in Boulder Downs are key to their plans, which means it is key to our plans, and that they be rooted out and put to the sword. We have long suspected that heretics use a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you overheard, I fear that Snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. A contingent of House Durandare Knights are on patrol in the area, and I shall order them to begin searching for the heretics at once. But knowing nothing of our enemy's numbers or readiness, I cannot say for sure that they will be sufficient. It would put my mind at ease if you would consent to assist my knights with the search. I know they would take courage from the presence of such a story from so storied warrior. Pray rendezvous with them at Boulder Downs. If Halone is kind, we may catch these heretics before their plans come to fruition. Show them no mercy, Magnarmus. The lives of our allies are at stake. No mercy. Slay. They saw him creepily leaving the camp over and over again after his shifts. So he's been feeding them the information. Caught him meeting with heresy. Oh, wow. Heresy! More heresy. Oh, search their effects. Back to Drillmon. Fly back through the cave. My knight sent no word of your coming, Magnarmus. What has happened? What is that in your hand? Well, your knights are dead. By the Fury, those were veterans with years of service! And now they lie dead in the snow? Their bodies must be recovered and... No. We have not the time, not the men to spare. Not now. Not while Iceheart prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not of sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable of the guardsmen's watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there not long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use their tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course, it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. House Durandir must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights from the Stone Vigil. I can see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. Yep, back through the attic. Lord Drummond recognizes that the situation... Time is of the essence, Magnormus. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies and Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will avail them not if they are cut down ere their swords are drawn. But all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Emmerich everything we have discovered. Alright, I will fly to Snowcloak. Magnormus, this is a welcome surprise, perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have the confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Levellier been informed? The Braves must be made aware. It must be here, I am certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? It is but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we may be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. And I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it. This is all wrong. Iceheart had us scrambling to save our own skins when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her. And to stop this damnable summoning. There she is! Come here, girl! That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Edie. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Levellier. There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured entrances to the half-dozen tunnels after spotting the enemy breaking the surface. But that is not all, sir. We are thinking that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha! Just as I suspected. Amongst this warren tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphino, but the tunnel in question is barely wide enough for the two men abreast. We cannot say with certainty where it leads, much less what it is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics still lurking here on the surface. What if we were to converge on this point after we entered the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Aymeric and keep the heretics at bay, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into this unknown to see that you are prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, and though not too many or Papalima will sulk. The entrance to the tunnel, sir, is just over there. Had we not seen the heretics break the surface, we would never have noticed it. For Sir Aymeric's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. A new dungeon. Dungeon time. As soon as I find a healer, apparently. Let's go. Let me in. Yep. Waiting on others. I need 1 healer and 2 DPS. Forward and back, and forward and back.
No. More concerned about the healer than the DPS. Give me. We are all waiting around like a bunch of jackasses. Yeah. Let's go. Those with a lot of them. All right. Ah, never mind. Pose with a lot of them. Well, fine, don't pose. Always that one glam. Okay, the person in the chicken costume will save us. Oh, the dungeon. Haha, I'm invincible, you little shits. Get. Come here, you. And it is dead. You come with me. You come with me. And you come with me. Wins. Prizel.
Second boss.
Me, summon up your demons. Give me a hug.
And everyone's doing the mechanics perfectly. And there we go. Take this. Stunned him, kill him. There we go. He's dead. Yep.
And there we go. State. Take cover! Alright, dodge that one, get away from the crystal. There we go. Oh, the person inside the animal costume ended up dead on the floor. Luck, everyone else. Oh, healer's down. Getting hurt. This does not bode well. Me and a monk. Can I survive? Maybe not. Uh-oh. I'm going to die. Dead men be we. Let's watch the monk. And the monk solo it. Oh, he just took a bad bite. And that's the end. Yeah. do. Yeah. Let's see if everyone stays alive this time. Move too soon. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, everything's looking good now. All right. Nice shot. There we go. Hey, triple commendation. Nice.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
Wait, Hydaelyn. And she just left. Took longer than I expected. What news, Magnarmus? She apparently is with Hydaelyn. Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. What she managed to escape is regrettable. From your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics?
The Crystal Braves would certainly share their credit for it too. Well, be praised, Magnarmus. We may yet turn this situation to our advantage. Assuming we can stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Minfilia and Urianger have been busy pursuing the archives of House Fortam, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on today's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to the cold. Shiver. Any shivers? Antecedent, you come to us straight from the archives of the House Fortam. I trust your time there proved fruitful. Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found... That off. But what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing on one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet, in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Fortam. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in case one wonders if it's by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice, Lewis would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves for the greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm the tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness after all. Was it not by the will of Halone that your ancestors came to this land, and why they took up arms against the Dravanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, so less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. It was a different time, nay, a different era, and Scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more. The man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I do remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being Good King Mughal the 12th, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Mogul's Guard. I think Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Menphilia. They have them both in abundance. Can that be truly all that is required? My survey team has concluded the preliminary analysis of the Aetheryte Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetheryte somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of the second Aetheryte, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlayan may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey an entire tunnel system. While Menphilia looks into our Aetheryte problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The 3rd unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force that attacked us. However, the search goes poorly, despite our numbers. Kirthis is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Good, I knew you would understand. You, Hase, can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. Good times. Alright. I think I will wrap the stream up here since it is after 9. And we will do for the greater good on the next stream. Peace.